Guys, my name is Michael Ovioisa. I'm here to anchor an interview with the best-selling author of 10 Laws of Academic Excellence, Dr. T. Tolulope Ahmed. So we'll go straight to the questions. First, before I'd like to ask him, tell us please, who exactly is Tolulope Ahmed?
Tolulope Ahmed is an author. He's an author. He's a product developer. He's a premium publisher. But I think what defines Tolulope Ahmed primarily is one whose vision is to reproduce achievements in others in the quickest and the most harmonious way possible, which is what is responsible for the books and the games, all the products that he creates. They are all about reproducing his achievements in others. So, in a nutshell, that's Tolulope Ahmed.
Amazing. Yeah. Fantastic. So 10 Laws of Academic Excellence. How exactly have you managed to sell 100,000 copies of this book within the space of 10 years?
So I tell people that the vision to sell 100,000 copies came in the very first year that the book was released. The first year I went to my mentor and I said, "Sir, this is my goal. I want to sell 100,000 copies." And I was like, that's a little difficult, that's cheap, but if you really want to sell it, if you really want to make that happen, then you have to focus on building the system or the structure that can sell 100,000 copies rather than trying to sell it for money. And so that was what I did. I decided to, give anyone who was willing to sell our books 80 to 90% of the profits, so that they could dedicate their energies to doing it. So even though a little percentage was coming to me, I still had a good income coming to me because there were more people selling more, and that was how we had gone to this stage where we are. But the initial sales actually happened because of my mentees that really drove it for free. They were willing to sell the book without collecting a dime. I would give them the books and say, go and sell. This is the amount. They say no, they don't want any profit. People like Kemi Adebisi, Emmanuel Abolo, Moses Adele. Some of them are people you probably know now. Timtope Agola. They sold it without asking for anything. So those were the ones. Within a few years, we did about 8,000 copies in the first year. So, and these people did it for free, so they were like the ones that gave it that initial push to actually let it, start going on. And we just added more distributors over the years, such that today we now have people just printing the books and just sharing with people, and it's been amazing. The structure, I think, that we built of distributors being able to just, sell and make profit from it was, I would say, is responsible for how we have gotten to where we are today.
I'm actually not surprised. at the fact that you have people that you're willing to drive this vision selflessly, even without collecting remunerations for that. Because I remember back then, NYSC camp, how you moved from plateau to plateau, from room to room, reaching out to people, talking to them about 10 laws of academic excellence, and going through that copy inside the camp. It was mind-blowing, and I'm impressed. So, 5th edition in 12 years. Wow. What's new in this 5th edition?
Somebody asked me recently on my DM and said, "Oh, 5th edition, is it still the same book?" And I said, "Of course, yes, it's the same book." But I think there are two answers to that. The first answer is, in the last 12 years, we've had feedback, from people, and then we are doing a 5th edition to meet the needs of some of the feedback that we've got that weren't captured in the previous edition. In fact, for every edition we've had, it has been because of that feedback. So the feedback we've got has necessitated every edition we've done. So somebody would just say, "In my school, this is how it works. In my school, this is how, this thing doesn't work like that." And so we've got to expand it to accommodate all those feedback that we have. So the answer is, we're doing it in order to meet the needs of the feedback that we've had in the last 12 years. And secondly, I also see it as a continuous communication between me, and my readers. So also this particular edition, we've included a little bit of, AI, how to leverage AI for academic excellence into it, and also to celebrate 12 years of academic excellence. Yes.
Wow, that's interesting. So you mean the 5th edition is more like you trying to encapsulate in the book the other questions that came after reading the book?
Yes.
Then I would have to get this 5th edition. I definitely need to follow this. All right, beautiful. So what's the greatest testimony you have ever received from all the testimonials you've had about 10 laws of academic excellence?
Interesting. Wow, I've received a lot of testimonies. I've received testimonies that have stunned me. I've received testimonies of someone who wrecked his 100 level, got sent out of campus, and then found 10 laws of academic excellence, and then came back to campus and then just dominated being the first class. Like, it's amazing. seen people who have won awards that have made, I mean, the awards was because of their CGPA. They won scholarships, grants, traveled abroad for their doctorates, for many of them are PhD now. So many amazing testimonies that I've received in the last, so somebody was sent me an award recently that I received, was frustrated from OAU, or sorry, sent out from OAU, been for bad results, and is now in 4A, being awarded as a meritorium award for being the academic, giant of the set in its first level. It's amazing. So, but I think the story that really touched me, and this is like the first time I'm going to be sharing this, is the story of Kelvin. Now, actually, Kelvin is someone that I was in 200 level and he came into campus and was in 100 level. But his intelligence was amazing. Like, I had mad respect for him. Every time he speaks, I had something to learn. It was quick, it was sharp, it was smart, it was fast. So, and I had a lot of respect for Kelvin because I think he went to one of the brightest schools on campus, together with another friend of mine, Tayo, who were in the same room. And so they were these, intelligent people. I was in first class, yeah, but I was still someone who wanted to learn from this guy. But this guy was like amazing. I thought of the guy that was going to be like an amazing guy, was going to do amazing things on campus. And then 4 years passed. I hadn't been in touch with Kelvin for a while. Then I graduated, the book had been out. And then I came back to campus, I think for an event or so. And then I was around, and then I got a call from Kelvin. Kelvin said he wanted to come and see me. And I was like, oh, really? And then Kelvin came, and when he came, his face was not so happy, and it was like, my result has been bad, but in the last few months, I have bounced back, and it was because of your book. And I was like, wow. I said, and he showed me a note that contained all the past questions I have answered, which is what my students of the book usually have. And he said, this is not what you said we should be doing, and he said everything looks so simple now. And that the results have been good again. And that was a moment for me because I was really touched. I was really touched that Kelvin was someone that I would have imagined was a very confident person, but seeing Kelvin talking to me and saying that you changed my life, that was a big moment for me. And all of this happened behind the scene. Like, I wasn't there. We just interacted with the book, and he had the result that he had. It was really amazing. And Kelvin, if you're listening to this, please reach out. I'd love to connect with you again. It was really a great moment for me. And that story really touched me because someone I had this great respect for came and said, "See, you've changed my life and turned it around." It was touching for me. So that would be one I would really want to highlight. The rest are the regulars, first class here, top class here, best in faculty, 100% score, and they're just all over. Yeah.
And so, I've always had this great desire to see your book being used across campuses because I have personally gone through this book, and for every young teenager I see going to campus, I always make requests. You know about this. I always make a request for them and all of that. So, if every average student across campus gets a copy of this book, what do you think will probably be the transformation in their hearts concerning academic excellence and life in general?
Amazing question. See, if everyone on campus learns these principles, it's not a principle for academics alone. In fact, someone reached out. Her name is Miss Soma, to me, and she said, "Sir, we need to create this book differently." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Because we should just call it like 10 laws of success in life." That this book is not just about academics, but that the way it's presented is just so good for academics that it has the results it has, but it should be something that it should be for life, that, we should create a different one that is presented in a way that it is for life. So if we have this book in the hands of a lot of people, and they get into the habits and the thought processes and patterns of the spirit of the author and the spirit of the book, productivity will grow, so high. It'll be a natural thing, because each individual will be productive, and that will not only produce results in academics alone, it produce results in whatever goal, desire, or dream that person has. So, it will make for a lot more productive youth, a lot more productive, like people want to do their thing, go for their goals. Young leaders, it's going to produce a lot of young leaders just doing their thing. Maybe I would take Ms. Summer up on that and create a book that's just going to be about just, love. Like, she was so passionate, so like, we need to do another one. So I think it's going to produce a lot of young leaders. It's going to produce a lot of young leaders, doing amazingly well in their own respective fields without having to, be about academics alone. So it will just help you really achieve your goal. One of these is just academics, and it's the focus of the book, but it's not about academics alone at all. And the way it's presented is really what makes it effective. So if every student has a copy of it, I think we'll have a more productive youth, an increase in young leaders, that can really make impact in their respective fields. That's what I think is going to be a natural effect of it.
Very correct, very correct. But if I may ask, do you have sponsors for this book? Do you have people that are passionate, that are willing to commit their finances and time to push this book across?
Yeah, we've not had a permanent sponsor. We've had sponsors every now and then. Shout out to Mrs. Taiwo Faloju. I think she was our first, sponsor who sponsored the book on radio stations, sponsored me to come on the radio station, Rhythm FM. Sponsored the books to secondary schools and indigents and different people who could not even afford it. Oshodi Comprehensive High School was one of those schools in which over 500 copies was distributed. I think there was also one with 1,000 copies. So we've had multiple sponsors and bulk requests like that from. Shout out to also Mr. Charles from Abuja, Mr. Charles again from Abia State, who has also. So we've had a couple of what they've done for schools, like they put schools together and just get them a piece of this book. So it's been amazing. We've not had a permanent sponsor, but I think we've had sponsors here and there who have just been passionate about what the book is doing, and we hope to get more sponsors as the story of Tenors of Academic Excellence is begins to be told and people can hear more about it. I hope to be able to get the government to use that government system and power and system to reach more people with a book like that, especially secondary school students that are public school students. So we've not had much sponsors, but we've had a couple, and we've also had just private people who just like, I want to get this for every student in my church, I want to get this for every student in my house, or things like that. So we've had fellowship events. We have fellowship that I've also bought for all their 100 level students. So I would call that sponsorship also here and there, but we've not really had like the main constant permanent sponsor. But the book has done this quite good even without any permanent sponsor. But I believe that going forward we'll have more sponsors, especially with our 12 years story that we're telling, and I believe we'll be able to actually do more, have more impact, and achieve that dream of creating young leaders that we said earlier. So yeah, that's been our sponsorship story so far.
Wow. But we look forward to having more people willing to sponsor this book across board, our secondary schools, churches. We call on the leaders of our churches, leaders of NGOs to come partner with us on this journey of mind transformation. I know it is said that knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to put this to you because of the question about the now, knowledge is power. Now, would you tell us why you think the content of this book has recorded almost 100% success testimonials? Now,
Okay.
because
part of the reason I would say will be the way it's presented, but I would say it's not just because of the way it's presented. I think there is a strong desire to reproduce achievements in people when it was being presented. It's born out of a drive and like an internal drive to really pour myself into someone else. So I think that's the fundamental drive. I've read a lot of books on academics, and I know that it's not every one of them that carries that spirit. I tell people when I listen to my student talk, I know this person has been baptized by the spirit of Tenors of Academic Excellence because I can just hear him talk. So there's a transfer of spirits. It's not just knowledge. You understand? It's like a spirit just enters into you, and that's like a spirit to perform. So and I think once that happens, when that spirit happens, you need to listen to some of my students speak. Somebody will send you a message and say something like, "Sir, I just saw my results. It was bad. I had 4.57 first class, but it's not. It feels like it's supposed to be 5.0, not 4.57 that I'm getting. They said I'm on a 4.8, but that's not me. I'm supposed to be on 5.0. That's beyond. That's a different person talking. If you understand what I'm saying, somebody else will be on 4.8 and I'll be like, oh, that's already first class and be happy. And but my students, they understand the spirit of the book. They understand that excellence is achievable, and excellence, they already can see that spirit of excellence. And somebody saying I had a 70A, and it's like, no, I don't like that. So I had an 80A, because in their minds it's not just about the score, it's about that spirit of excellence that defines them. So I would say that it's because of the spirit, fundamentally, the spirit of which the book was written, and also the spirit that is transferred in the process. So it makes it a very different book. I've seen people call it a supernatural book. I've seen people call it it's not a normal book. So I've seen people say that, and I would say that the closest reason I can say is responsible for that is because the way the book was written was because it was a mission of replicating a result in people, and then the spirit caught on to the book, ready to leap into whoever picks it up. So I think that's how we recorded this success that we've recorded so far. For secondary school edition, parents are the ones who are supposed to take, charge more, to get the books in the hands of their kids, because the kids might not, have or know about it. So yeah, this is a call to parents to, try to get the book into the hands of the students. Some schools also, it's a call to schools to get the books into the hands of the parents. One of the things that I usually pray to God for is, because I get people say a lot and say, wow, I read your book, it's amazing. I wish I had seen this book from primary school, or I wish I've seen this book since my part 1 days. And my prayer has been, God, please help me to place this book in the hands of people early enough so that they will not wish that they had met me or they had met the book, in their early years. You understand? So it has always been my prayer. So, and God has been faithful. I mean, we've been able to do 100,000 copies. So I would say, to a large extent, God has answered our prayer to be able to actually set people on a new direction. People have had grants, people have won scholarships, people have gone abroad to do their masters and their PhDs. People have won, awards. People have been celebrated and rejoiced because, somebody's grateful that, my role in writing this book is helping them succeed. It's been amazing, and I give all the glory to God. One of the things we try to do is to have our own series of seminars, campus events, that can get people into the spirit of the book and the spirit of the author. So what we've done is we've created podcasts, we've created videos, we've created seminars, and we still keep having them. But about clubs, clubs would be a good one. I think it will have to be designed well, such that we'll be able to easily have people access it. But what is in the works now for me is to create a series of products that can be like an entire package that will contain books, that will contain videos, audios, podcasts, that will be an entire package for students from secondary school up to university. That will be like a course that they are taking. So hopefully that will allow people to learn at their pace, take it as a course, and once they are done with the course, they would have done several readings, they would have done several videos, they would have answered several questions, and then that will get them into the mindset of tennis academics. So, but for a club, I'm open to ideas for people who might have an idea of how that will be effective, and then we can make it work. So just like a cash flow club that people have to pay every now and then. We can have a system like that on campuses that can really make this travel and impact more people. There's been some other books, but first of all, there's been spin-offs from Tolulope Academic Excellence. From Tolulope Academic Excellence, we've had Tolulope Academic Excellence seminars. We've had Tolulope Academic Excellence for secondary school. That's a Accelerated Learning textbook series. So there's been a textbook that is entirely based on Tolulope Academic Excellence. So 2 of such textbooks have been released in the last 12 years, and we hope to have more textbooks come under the umbrella of that Accelerated Learning series as the years go by. So that's like some of the things to expect from Tolulope Academic Excellence. Apart from Tolulope Academic Excellence, I've written 4 other books. There's a new one that is coming out. It's called Conversion, how I turned my yearly income into my monthly income. Okay, so that one. And then there's been games that I've created as well for secondary schools, the pivot games, for mathematics and for physics. So most of them came out from Tolulope Academic Excellence. I mean, Tolulope Academic Excellence is the first book, and all of that were just inspired from it, and but fundamentally, inspired from the desire to reproduce my achievements in others in the quickest and most harmonious way possible.
Wow. Thank you to Tolulope Ahmed for being with me on this set. It's been quite an amazing interview. We've learned so much from just hearing you talk. We look forward to seeing more amazing products from you and your team.